everybody. Welcome to your Monday edition. It is the Trader Merlin Show after a wonderful weekend and a pretty lackluster boxing match. Hope you all had a good one. It was funny because I was tweeting out during the Mike Tyson, Jake Paul farce of a boxing match and just kind of embarrassed for everyone involved. That was like probably one of the biggest staged, rigged, ridiculous events I've ever seen in my life. It's funny because you watch the training and Mike Tyson looks like he could knock down a brick wall. And then he gets in the ring and doesn't do anything. And I've heard from other sources that in the contract it said that Mike Tyson got paid a lot more if he actually lost the fight to Jake Paul, which was crazy. Jake Paul made $40 million, Tyson makes $20 for what basically has all fooled. And that was just, I won't be involved with anything that Jake Paul ever does again. It's like he's like a Kardashian. Him and his brother are just like Kardashians, but the white boy Kardashians. Anyway, what an embarrassing fight. But the two fights before that, man, fantastic. Brutal. Savage. At least it was free. I just wasted my time for the Tyson fight. Okay. So let's go to my talk track here for the Trump's crypto play. Now, of course, there's been a lot of stuff that's gone on with Trump over the past couple of years with regards to not necessarily just crypto, but just business ventures that he's done. So, of course, we know we've got DJT, which was the SPAC, which he basically backed into a publicly traded company and came up with Truth Media and Technology Group. They have, basically a Twitter knockoff. They're a copy of Twitter that is ultra-conservative and, controlled by Trump. Okay, fine. That's great. I'll do my best to enlighten today, Big Ab. I don't know if I'll... was it unfocused today? Video, it looks fun on my end. Mike, this video, I thought my video looks pretty focused to me on my end. Hopefully it is. Anyway, so we start off with the DJT, which of course was, we've talked about this many times. Somebody approached Trump, said, hey, you're kicked off Twitter. We will build you a platform where you can, do the same thing and put your name on it. You champion it, and we'll give you a lion's share of all the shares. So great. Trump is now a big player in this one. Now, I'm not that keen on it, and it's nothing to do with Trump. It's just a pure business. I look like, or I feel like this is just, again, a copy of Twitter. Twitter is and was dominant, still is dominant, and I just don't see people going to this. You look at some of the numbers, they're losing a tremendous amount of money every quarter. So just a struggling business. Then we fast forward a little bit to their recent decision, which of course, again, I think is the same thing as DJT, where a group of individuals approached the president and said, hey, if you put your name on this, we'll build the product, we'll do everything. All you have to do is say it's yours and we'll do the rest. And that is World Liberty Financial. Now, digging into World Liberty Financial, this looks like a con. DJT, probably a legit business. I got no problem with that. It's just struggling and probably not going to get a foothold. But the World Liberty Financial, to me, is a grift. If you look at the numbers, you look at the facts, you look at the data, I think I showed it to you guys here. If you download their white paper, which they call a gold paper, all right, I have to focus is good here. It looks good on my end, but maybe I'll see if I can get my buddy to help me out with it again. If you read that gold paper, it says you can never sell your tokens of World Liberty Financial. Plus, there's all these crazy promises. And being entrenched in the crypto world, I understand what they're trying to build. It already exists dozens of times over. Now, the play here, the next step is what they announced, or what the announcement is today, which is them going after BKKT. So there's a high likelihood, I don't know if it's finalized or if it's just talk track, I didn't see all the details there, but that DJT, which is Truth Media, Social, etc., is going to buy BKKT. Now, you guys might remember back here, let's zoom way out here. I can embarrass myself, going all the way back to when the chart looked like this. I believe it was after this big surge up and it kind of went flatline, and we were talking about, or I was talking about how I wanted to buy BKKT. And the reason that I wanted to buy BKKT is this was backed by ICE, the Intercontinental Exchange. There were members from the New York Stock Exchange on this. I mean, you had senators involved with BKKT as they were, coming to fruition and doing this reverse engineered SPAC. So for me, I'm like, wow, you've got all these really elite people at the top of their game, from politics to finance, going into BKKT. And again, the talk track, the publications, all the documentation said that BKKT wanted to be an institutional crypto exchange. They wanted to be a holding company for for the big guys, right? So when BlackRock wants to buy 50,000 Bitcoin, they would be doing that through BKKT. That's why I was enamored with it. I'm like, this is where we're going, boys and girls. Let's do it. Well, didn't work. All right, it just kind of fell apart. They changed their plan right away. I still have on my phone. I can't share my screen with you today, but I think I have the BKKT app on my phone, and all it does is, I think I can actually use it at Starbucks. Yeah, I do have the BKKT app. I think I can use it at Starbucks, but I have to load money onto it. I put $100 on here and have never used it. It was a joke. So the talk track today is that DJT stock, the parent company, is buying this one. And you got to ask yourself, well, why would that be? Why does a Twitter-like company go and buy a relatively useless application like BKKT? Part of me believes it's trying to preemptively go at what Twitter is trying to do, because Twitter, I think in the next year or so, will make an announcement that they are going to have their own exchange. I guess I got to stop calling it Twitter. X will probably have their own exchange, and my guess is, like PayPal, they'll come out with their own stablecoin or some digital currency to use on all of X's services. So does BKKT give DJT a little bit of a head start there? Because they have the connections to potentially be an exchange. They're currently an application for crypto. I think, while I don't know exactly why DJT went for BKKT, a lot of acronyms today and ticker symbols, what it does tell me is something probably even more significant. And that just supports all of the beliefs that I have that crypto is going to see some very favorable regulation. Now, if DJT buys BKKT and now incorporates a cryptocurrency product into their social media platform and other platforms they may create down the road, it does tell me that most likely we're going to have Trump create some favorable policy for those specific entities. Now, what entities might those be? Well, obviously, since World Liberty Financial is a DeFi project, decentralized finance, it might mean that we'll see more lax rules on DeFi. Under the Biden administration, there was pressure on these exchanges, things like Uniswap. All right, so let's go out here and I'll bring up Uniswap. Just so some of you might not have seen it, can check out and see what this is. Uniswap is an exchange I think is very interesting. What they do is they will allow you to go around a traditional exchange. So I may not have to use the NASDAQ or the Dow Jones or ARCA. I can use electronic networks, and I can take my crypto over here. I don't have my wallet connected. Unfortunately, I'm not going to connect it right for you guys right now. But I can go out here and I can take my Ethereum or Aave tokens. Aave, by the way, is what World Liberty Financial is trying to recreate. And then I can go here and I can swap it for other tokens. Now, what's interesting about this, so let's say I wanted to swap Aave for DAI, which is a stable coin. Essentially what I'm doing now is I am making transactions that are not really trackable. If we do these all on a centralized exchange like Coinbase, and let's say I bought some Aave with US dollars, right? So I take my US dollars, I import those in, and I buy Aave, which is cryptocurrency. That is not a taxable event. However, the moment that I sell my Aave and convert that into anything else, that is a taxable event. So the Trump or Biden administration was kind of going after some of these decentralized exchanges, particularly Uniswap, SushiSwap, the big ones, because they can't track what those people are doing on those exchanges. And of course, government wants to tax. They need their money. So you got a lot of people, actually some of my students, that they'd rather do most of their trades on the DeFi marketplaces because government doesn't know what's going on over there. I can make trades without having to pay taxes on those because they're outside of government control and reporting. So there's been pressure, and my talk track for my students has been, be careful with DeFi projects because there may be a crackdown coming. And I thought, well, yes, I do believe that's going to happen. But now if Donald Trump has a DeFi project that he's hoping to make a lot of money on, my guess is they might pull back some of that regulation and pressure on DeFi marketplaces. So places like SushiSwap, Uniswap, Thorchain, Trader Joe's. There's a whole bunch of different places just like this, even Compound and Maker, where there's opportunity for you to take your cryptocurrency, buy, sell, swap. I mean, you can do all kinds of different things with it. BKKT, I think, gives DJT a quick entry into that entire crypto arena from a very legitimate perspective. When you looked at World Liberty Financial, your two founding guys look really shady. One of them, has a website where he makes videos on how to pick up chicks and teaches seminars on, being a womanizer. That's awesome. Good for us, guy I want on my team. And then you have BKKT, which is members of the Intercontinental Exchange, members of the New York Stock Exchange, senators. These are prominent people with power. So I think this is actually a pretty good acquisition, or at least addition to the portfolio here, because now if you do start to put beneficial pieces in place for cryptocurrency, maybe BKKT decides to rise up and change what they're doing. Obviously, you look at the share price of it, this thing was brutal. I mean, just getting absolutely crushed. Awful. I think, Margaret, you talked about this one, right? I think Margaret was still holding this. You may have your chance here soon to get out of this and make a little bit of profit on this one. Who knows how much higher it's going to rise, but it was up 162% today, and it's up another 13% in after hours. So absolutely rocking to the upside here. And, for me, I'm just kind of looking at this going, what else is Trump going to do? What other plays is he going to make? It seems like, in my opinion, and again, this has nothing to do with what I think of Trump as a person, as a president. It's irrelevant. I'm just trying to figure out what he's doing. And knowing his background on how he'll definitely try to capitalize on a situation, man, he is right at the forefront of this roller coaster that he can steer where this roller coaster goes. And if he's got a crypto exchange like backed BKKT, if he's got a social media platform like Truth Social, if he's got a DeFi project like World Liberty Financial, I could see him getting his tentacles in there more and more and more and really benefiting with positive regulation. So again, for those of you like myself who are in here getting excited because Trump is going to be favorable for Bitcoin, it may be the rising tide floats all boats. And if you look at the crypto world today, again, this is not a full representation of the crypto market. It's just what I'm focusing on, but you see a lot of stuff in here, in double digits. Engine, Stellar Lumens, which I've been telling everybody is probably a better replacement for Ripple, up 18% today. Algorand, Cosmos, Polkadot. I mean, finally Polkadot. This one to me, I'm super excited about Polkadot just because I have so much of it and I've got half my position for free. But you look at just Chainlink. I'm telling everybody you should have oracles in your portfolio, but it's definitely one of those things that I do believe you're going to see a lot more positive upside movement in cryptocurrency because of this crypto play. And there may be more. I think there's going to be more going forward, deals, arrangements, policies being made around crypto and President Trump. I don't know if you guys, for those of you who wasted your time and watched the final fight between Tyson and Jake Paul, if you looked out of the crowd, you saw Donald Trump. You saw to his right, or when I looked at him, facing him to his right was Elon Musk. You had Kid Rock, who will probably the secretary of partying. I don't know. But directly to the left of Trump, I believe was like a really big Saudi Middle East oil minister, which is interesting. That might help also in lowering oil prices. But all those people that were close to him getting some preferential treatment. You talk about SpaceX, and there was an announcement today about how the Trump administration is going to have a renewed emphasis on interstellar exploration. Conveniently, you saw Elon Musk's shirt at the fight said Occupy Mars. So keep an eye on who he hangs out with, keep an eye on who he talks to, because that may give you clues as to what may be the next thing to pop and benefit from a Trump administration. But right now, I think crypto should be at the top of our list with regards to what may be moving. All right. Yep, RFK Jr. is right behind him. It's funny when they here isn't he supposed to be like the director of health services or something like that? He's got a really prominent role in the healthcare industry. And on the airplane back, they're all eating McDonald's. Like, that was nice plug for Mickey D's here. Yeah, so you got that's gonna be my next piece here. So actually, I got two pieces I want to get to, but I'll get to that one as well. What do you mean the government can track it? It's on the blockchain. So Jim. Yeah, they can. Okay, so here's how it would work. Yes, they could through a lot of work. It'd be difficult for them to track it all thoroughly, but yes, they could. So how does it work? Let's say, and I'm glad you said that, Jim. Thank you for bringing that up. Let's say I take my US dollars out of my Chase account and I move it to Coinbase. At Coinbase, I buy some Ethereum, right? So now I've got a transaction. The next time it moves from Ethereum, that's a taxable event. Now I take it off of Coinbase. Coinbase is in cahoots with the Internal Revenue Service. They report, they document everything because they have to. Publicly traded, got to be careful here. I send my Ethereum over to, let's say, Uniswap. Uniswap does not have a central entity monitoring what goes on. All they care is, does your wallet have money in it? They don't care who you are, where you are, what you are. If you have a wallet with money in it, you can trade. So I take my Ethereum that I bought on Coinbase, which is tracked. And now I move that Ethereum over to my MetaMask wallet, right? MetaMask is just a decentralized wallet. So in the eyes of the world, the reported side says that, well, this crypto was at Coinbase, but it's now left and gone over to this address. Remember, they don't know it's me. They just know that it left my account and went to this address. So now it sits in my MetaMask, and all the trades I do in there, certainly they could see, okay, Ethereum was swapped for this token, and then this token was swapped for this token, which would be a nightmare for the IRS to try to track it. Could they do it? Yes, absolutely. But they would have to come up with a software, which is probably, I'll be honest, probably already being developed, where they can type in an address and it'll track every single piece where it's gone. So it could be tracked, yes. It's not 100% trackable because there are sites called mixers where I can combine my transactions with other transactions and obfuscate those. I can hide what I'm doing with my money, or all I'd have to do is send it over to Monero or Zcash, take it out of those, and now the government doesn't know anything about it after that point. So there are ways that I can hide transactions. But the point I was making is on a centralized exchange like Coinbase, Kraken, Binance, Gemini, Bitstamp, those are all tracked. The government's saying, hey, what are you doing? What are your customers doing? When you go to a DeFi marketplace, there isn't that back end. So the government agencies would have to go to the blockchain and track every single transaction. However, there are ways to get around that as well. Some of those 87,000 new agents they hired around it, I'm sure they are with their guns in hand. But if you really wanted to, if you guys are astute and understand crypto well enough, you could get away with moving crypto around and most likely not paying taxes on it. But I don't want any issues with the IRS, so all mine's totally trackable. I pay all my taxes. But I brought that point up because having a DeFi exchange, which is what Donald Trump is trying to do. I mean, when you look at the wording, let's see real quickly. Sorry, I'm trying to type at the same time. WRLD, W Financial. I'm going to go to the token sale here just to show you this one again. And I just want you to read what it says here. The only DeFi platform inspired by Donald J. Trump shaped the future of decentralized finance by owning WLFI tokens. So it doesn't really tell you what they are going to do. I mean, their token sale has been pretty bad. You can see they've only sold 1.35 billion out of a 20 billion portion that's for sale. All right. I won't go to that one, Lori. But it's funny because it says gain equal voting power and governance decisions, ensuring fair platform changes. Guys, Trump owns over half of them, so it doesn't matter what voice you have. He's going to make the decisions on what happens to this protocol anyway. Steering DeFi's future. Owning WLFI tokens lets you shape the future of decentralized finance. It doesn't actually do any of that. It simply just lets you access whatever they decide to create, right? That doesn't mean it's going to be successful. And it's funny, you look through here, this is that guy Chase Hero. I think Chase Hero is the guy that does pickup sites. These guys, Hero and Folkman, have created an exchange already called Doe, and it's no longer there because it was hacked and money was taken out of it. But you can see the whole top line here is Trump, 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 Trump. You got 4 of the Trumps at the very top of the list. Plus, I don't know who the Witkoff family is, but clearly they're in on this one as well. But guys, if you look at the things they say they're trying to do, they don't say anything. We're going to be the best at decentralized finance. That's it. And again, click on that gold paper. Paragraph 6, by the way, tells you what you can and cannot do. And you got to love this. Look at the picture. It cracks me up. I absolutely love it. I'm going to go to paragraph 6 because I memorized this one because it was just so unbelievably bad. And let's go to point number 6 here. Yeah, there you go. I'm going to read it out loud again. The sole utility of holding WLFI is governance of the WLF protocol. WLFI will be fully functional for its governance utility at the time of completion of the token sale. WLFI provides no right of return or other distribution. All WLFI will be non-transferable and locked indefinitely in a wallet or smart contract until such time, if ever, that WLFI are unlocked through protocol governance procedures in a fashion that does not contravene applicable law. That should freak you out, man. Anybody who is even thinking about buying this, gotta read what you're buying. So, this one looks more shady than something like Uniswap or PancakeSwap because they actually have a product. They're showing you what they can and cannot do. Anyway, I'm going too long here. Let's see. Hiding the transactions is one reason the government is less likely to approve crypto. Why not make it taxable as all other stocks trade? Wouldn't that make it more palatable for the government? 100%, Steve. Yes. But, when you look at what's some of the major allures of crypto and digital assets, number one is ownership, right? You own it. You own it. Like I have crypto on my ledger right here, right? I own this. When I have my shares of Microsoft or Intel or MicroStrategy sitting over at E-Trade, I don't own that. I have an IOU. The brokerage firms and the holding companies own the crypto or the shares. With digital assets, as long as I have the private key, I own whatever that unlocks. So that's unique to crypto. That doesn't happen in really any other asset class other than something like gold or silver, but now I have physically to hold those elements. That's number one, would be ownership. Number two is it's outside of government control. Your bank accounts, your checking accounts, your brokerage accounts, your assets can be frozen at any moment in time. The government come and seize your assets for whatever reason. They could say, I'm sorry, later down the road. Now, that's an extreme example, but I think you'd all agree that that is possible. If I said, is it possible for the government to come and freeze your assets? Could they take your deed to your house? Could they take your car title? Could they take your savings, your checking, your crypto? They could take everything except the stuff that you own on a ledger or cold storage. That's another huge allure to me personally. Now, I don't do anything illegal. I am totally above board. I like to think that if I had like an honest citizen score, I'm the highest I can get. Why? Because I don't see a reason. I have plenty of joy living life the good way, not doing anything bad. So I'm not worried about it. However, there are people libertarians who just don't like the government. They want them out of their business. Crypto is good for that as well, where you call the shots with your crypto. So those are, I guess, two of the really major points for crypto is it's outside of government control and it's true ownership. I also like the fact that it's all inclusive. Anybody from around the world can get involved with it. All you need is a wallet. Done. So there are no like preferential boys and girls club type of financial markets where, oh, well, you're an astute investor, you can get to this, and oh, you're a new one, you can't have access to this. I don't like that as well. Why any of Trump? No. Yeah, Gio said, why aren't any of Trump's daughters in the gold? I don't know. Or his wife? I don't know. Definitely don't know. Maybe it goes back to the old belief system that, women shouldn't be in finance, which is a farce. I think if anything, more women should get involved with finance. You look at day-to-day spending on a family, especially go back to like the Leave It to Beaver days. Women knew more about the money, the spending, and all the cost of running that household than the men did. So, sorry, now I'm going to the battle of the sexes over here on Trade and Merlin today. But yeah, there should be more and more women involved. And if Trump was smart, he would have put them all in there. Why not? All right, let's see. So clearly you can't possibly lose by investing. Liz, I'll tell you what. If you guys were to give me $100 and say buy WLFI, I would buy $100 worth of Bitcoin, and 5-10 years down the road, I would give you interest on the Bitcoin returns. WLFI, I just don't see it doing that well. But I think, again, the most important part of WLFI is if this is backed by Trump, who's going to be president, then there's probably going to be preferential laws put in place for DeFi marketplace, which again causes the whole thing to boom. Great. Yeah, SMCI. Let's see. Can anyone be behind this? You mean, can anyone be behind crypto, Steve? The answer is yes. Anyone could be behind it. I mentioned already, I've created 5 different cryptocurrencies, not to put out there to make a bunch of money, just to see how the process is. I like to know how difficult it is, and I've mentioned this many times. Maybe one day I'll do it live on the air. It takes about 7 minutes from beginning to end to create a cryptocurrency. Now, there's a lot of steps that you have to take, but it's really easy to do, like incredibly easy. Let's see. Is crypto okay for bribes? The ambling. Yeah, sure. Steve says, how can anyone be... Oh, I'm sorry. I guess, Steve, I'm reading it one way. I guess, are you saying, is anyone behind it as in supporting it? Like, political people supporting World Liberty Financial? Or are you saying, can anyone, meaning, can any person create a crypto? I guess I need to hear the enunciation. Can I buy you used socks? Oh... Mr. Brown, I just throw my socks away, so if you're a dumpster diver, you can go and have them for free. Is crypto okay for bribes? So if you're going to be bribing someone, again, the trackability of it makes it nerve-wracking. So if you're going to be bribing somebody with Bitcoin and depositing it into their wallet that is attributed to their name, like for example, let's say I'm an elected official and the government is tracking my patterns, and they know I've got an account at Coinbase. And all of a sudden, this Bitcoin just keeps popping into my Coinbase account. They're probably going to raise an eyebrow and say, where'd that come from, right? So that would be a bad choice. Now, if I'm an elected official that want to do bribes, want to accept bribes, I'm going to try to get you some favorable rulings if you just give me some money. Do you think I'd do it with Bitcoin? Hell no. I would probably say, here's my my wallet address for Monero. And I'd say, pay me in Monero. Because Monero uses something called ring signatures. So essentially, it obfuscates it. It'll mix everything up, and you won't be able to tell where it came from or where it went. So money goes into Monero. It gets mixed with all sorts of other transactions. And then if you look at the history, you can't see where it went. You won't be able to tell. So if you're going to do something illegal, you should be using Monero or Zcash. And if I was, taking bribes, which would be illegal in the eyes of the government, then I would be using something like Monero or Zcash. Now, how do I cash that out? Look, there's a lot of ways I could cash out of Monero without getting, raising the suspicion. I could go over to England and find some yacht builder and just pay him with my Monero, buy myself a yacht. Let's see. You need to hold on to some cash for those bribes. Yep. $100 bill is the most popular choice for bribes. So here, yeah, US dollar is still the most widely used for bad things. Terrorists, drug dealers, bribes, you name it. What will happen down the road in the future, if we get to that central bank digital currency, which I believe is going to come within the next decade, at that point, we'll start to lose that ability to pay with physical fiat currency. And then the question will be which crypto would be used for that. Yeah, who needs the Silk Road? Hey, if you don't need Silk Road, man. If you know how to access the dark web and you can get into the dark web, you can get anything, do anything you want on the dark web. I don't understand it. I don't even want to go in there because I'm afraid that someone will say, hey, this IP address went into this dark web. Gotta do it. Thanks for the advice, Merlin. If the U.S. government is watching, this is just me. It's a joke. I love it. If I see a certain South American country dive into poverty, pat yourself on the back. I'm not patting nobody on the back. I don't see them. Actually, a lot of South American countries are in poverty and people in those countries. And I'm a firm believer that if they actually moved away from fiat currencies and actually let their citizens hold cryptocurrency, then those citizens would actually be better off. Because typically what devalues your currency, whether it's the US dollar, the euro, the yen, is government meddling, right? Printing more and more fiat to pay for their debt obligations. And if you have an honest currency, something you can't print more of, then it actually is going to maintain its value. So I guarantee you that if I was living in Argentina, which has extremely high inflation, and I'm getting paid in the local currency, I am converting that immediately into either Bitcoin or a USD stablecoin. I'm going into US dollars. I can't let it sit there another day because I'll be losing value on my Argentinian currency. I would be using crypto. And I think more countries benefit from that. Do you not want to be in the U.S. watch list? No, I don't think I'm going to watch list. They can watch me all they want. I'm above board. I'm sure all those three-letter agencies already know these crypto loopholes. Yes, I'm sure they do, Chad. And there's some things they can do to crack down on them, and there's others that they can't really figure out. For example, cracking into the algorithms for Zcash or Monero, which allow you to remain anonymous. They don't have that done. It seems like El Salvador is doing much better now. Argentina is looking at doing the same. I think so too, John. I think in the next couple of years, you're going to hear a lot more about countries not making their currency Bitcoin, but saying we'll accept currency in our countries. El Salvador is using the US dollar, right? That's their currency, but they've also said we are totally Bitcoin friendly and it's legal tender. So you can use Bitcoin interchangeably anywhere you like. I think more countries are going to start to do that. And if that does happen, then that just increases demand. By the way, you guys saw Michael Saylor bought another, $4 billion today worth of Bitcoin. I mean, he said he's got a plan to buy $42 billion worth of Bitcoin. He made one of his largest purchases ever today with Bitcoin. So I think it's just starting out. I want to get the exact numbers. I forgot exactly how much he bought. I'm just going to see here. He bought an additional 51,780 Bitcoin today. He now holds 331,200 Bitcoin, $16 billion. Woo, man. Love it. Great guy. Yep, El Salvador is purchasing 1 Bitcoin a day. And again, that's chump change, right? 1 Bitcoin a day, big deal. That's $3 million a month. Who cares, right? But Argentina's economy is way bigger than El Salvador. And if Argentina does something similar and they're saying, hey, we're going to buy 10 Bitcoin a day, or Brazil jumps on board and starts doing that, or other countries around the world, I think it could very easily spike. And again, the video I just finished for barchart.com does a lot with a lot about the forecast. And I run through a lot of this in the video. I'm hoping it'll be up the next day or two. So I'll let you guys know when that one gets posted. Think of how many weeks of mine Bitcoin MicroStrategy. Yeah, exactly, John. I mean, if you think about it, guys, every day there's 450 Bitcoin created, right? So let me just show you right here. I'll show you, this is how many days of supply MicroStrategy just ate up. So if we look at their latest purchase, was 51,780 Bitcoin, and you divide that by 450, that's 115 days. 115 days worth of Bitcoin were just purchased. And that's the new stuff coming out. Well, we got 365 days in a year. So they basically just gobbled up 30% of all of the Bitcoin being produced this year. Crazy. Crazy. I mean, it's just incredible how much this guy is buying. And he's going to be buying a lot more. 30 billion in Bitcoin now. Yeah. Love it. Did you take advantage of the $1 chicken nugget? No, I did not. I'm trying to eat healthy. I've lost 15 pounds. I'm trying to eat healthier. Got to get my triglycerides down. You know, damn blood tests when you get older. The older folks know what I'm talking about. You get your blood test and you're like, I'm healthy. And you're looking like, what the hell's all this stuff? I'm off the charts, man. All right. So let me go to some listener questions here, and I'll dive back to this. I didn't mean to make this a full show on crypto, but I definitely see some interest, and rightfully so. So let me go and show you this question here. Sue asked me, where do I buy gold? And actually, it was a much bigger question than this. It was a paragraph about someone approaching her saying, we're like super gold and buy through us. Look, I don't trust people. I don't trust companies that are a gold IRA. I just don't trust people. I don't trust markets. I don't trust businesses. I go into everything feeling like it's a scam. I got my guard up thinking it's a scam. I would never personally, without really diving deep into a company, getting deep into what this company does, I don't think I would ever buy through some kind of online gold brokerage firm. Where do I buy my gold, my physical gold? I literally go to a numismatist he's in Anaheim, over by the Angel Stadium. I found this guy in a strip mall, and I went to about 5 different gold people, and I just went in there, and at the time I was buying 1/10 of an ounce gold coins for the Power Trading Radio Show. We were doing a 1/10 of an ounce gold coin giveaway. And we do that like once a month, whoever got the best forecast. And I would love to do that here too, but it's just more money for prize giveaways, things like that. Anyway, the gold coins, he was doing it at like a great price. Like it was right at the current market for gold prices. And his spread was real tight. So they weren't like gouging anybody. And I felt more comfortable with them. So I'd go in there and I'd buy, 15 at a time and give out. We're doing it once a week. I think it might have been weekly. I can't remember how many we were doing. But anyway, I would go to a physical gold coin dealer and I would check out. I wouldn't use Costco. The Costco markup is too big. Let me see. So right now, if you get the 1 ounce gold bar, and plus they've been selling out like nonstop. I'd have to log in to see the member price. Let me get out here and just so I can log in and show you what the member price is. See member price. I think I have a login here. There's typically going to be a fairly large markup there. And remember, this thing changes, like Gold changes every single day. So here you go. So you got $2,669.99 out of stock. So you couldn't even buy them right now if you wanted to, but that's 2,669. And I go here to the current price of gold. We'll go up to the gold futures, GC, 26.14. So they're not adding on much. They're adding about $60 onto the cost of that gold. So, okay, you're paying a little bit of a markup there. And I'm thinking they look kind of cool. I actually thought about buying a couple to add to my portfolio of gold, but nah, I'll just go to an actual numismatist. And, when you go to this coin shop, and all of you have coin dealers around you, they're always going to be, trying to get as much money as possible. That's the reason I like this guy, because it didn't feel like he was trying to fight me on prices. And I called around a bunch of different places as well and said, how much for a 1/10 of an ounce gold coin? And I just made a spreadsheet. This guy gave me the best price by far. And so I went to him, and I've been using him ever since. Go to Middle East and buy there. Yeah, so, but Garrett, gold is gold. So you're still going to be paying a hefty price for it. What's important for me is trust, because it's easy to make fake gold bars. I could take a lead slug, coat it in gold, just dip it in gold and put whatever stamp you want on it, and it feels almost the exact same as a regular gold bar. It's just coated lead. So that's why I like getting ones that are rated. They've been graded, right? They're certified from the different agencies that do the grading for coins. And typically I'm buying gold coins, 1 ounce gold coins. I have a few 1/10 of an ounce gold coins, but typically it's a 1 ounce gold coins that I'll be buying. Because I have 1 ounce gold for what? I have 1 ounce gold for $1. I'm like, yeah, right? Darn it, Mill. Hey, put me on your wait list. If you're selling an ounce of gold for $1, tell you what, I'll give you 100% more than what you want, Mick. I'll get you $2 for that. So, Sue, that's how I do it. I would search around. If someone's sending me emails about check out my gold service and do this, I wouldn't mess with it. I actually did a bunch of interviews with rare coin wholesalers. They were really good. They were really nice people, but the guy I worked with, his name is Paul Busby. I really liked the guy. He left the company, and after that, I just never really did anything with him. But, this is a site that's predominantly for collectors of really rare coins. So I don't do a lot with really rare stuff. I'm much more... Like, I have definitely some current American Eagles, right? Current coins. I got a couple Cougarans. But if I do buy an old one, I want it to be graded and rated. So, you look at gold trading at, let's say, $2,600 an ounce. That's the melt value. Depending on how rare it is, like I've got a couple from the 1800s, early 1800s, those, yeah, it's a $2,600 coin, but because it's so rare, it's like $15,000, right? Depending on what the mint was and the condition it's in. So that's how I would do it, Sue. I would go, I'm not sure where you live, Sue, but if you just bring up gold coin dealers around you, first step is I would call them all and say, I'd like to buy a 1 ounce American Eagle. And you have them all ready on the phone to do like back to back to back. And say, I'd like to buy 1 ounce American Eagle coins. What's your price? And make a list of who's going to give you the best price right there. Whoever's giving you the lowest price, I'd go down there and check them out. And say, I'll be there in 10 minutes, Okay, great. And if you like them, you like the way they work, then you have a connection there. Remember, when you use a coin dealer, you're typically going to pay a little bit over market. Just the nature of the beast for these guys. Yeah, Fairy says, I wouldn't buy it anywhere but an official shop. Yeah, I would not go to a souk market in Dubai, which I have done. I've gone to gold markets over there. I have no idea. I'm not skilled enough to be able to look and go, oh, that's 18, 14, 16 karat. I can never be that skilled at gold. So I need an agency to authorize this is actually good what I'm buying. Some of you probably have little gold tester kits. Great, good for you. For me, I need them to be verified by the firm. Thank you, Gio. Yeah, 17 to 74. All right, so that was Sue's. Yeah, when I was in Dubai, man, I saw a lot of markets like this and just rolls and spools of gold and everybody's trying to get me to buy. It was just such crazy pressure. And, who knows what I'm buying. I think a lot of people are going to try to sell you stuff that's not quite real. But let's go check real quick at some of the housing data, because we did get housing data today. The NAHB Housing Market Index came out. And this one is really just talking about how home builders and kind of what's their vibe on the market. And you can see here, let's go to Monday the 18th. We had where was it? Oh, here you go. At 7 a.m. today, you had the NHB Housing Market Index. And what we're really welcome, I read your welcome, Chio, and I got sidetracked. What we're really looking for is above 50. So this is not good today. We're at 46. Now, if we look at the picture here, to be fair, we've only been above 50 1, 2, 3, 4 times in the last 2.5 years. That's really bad. On a positive note, it has been making, over the last 4 months, stair steps up, moving higher. And again, I think that the 10-year bond has a significant impact on this. If this is the attitude of home builders on what they feel about the markets going forward, it looks like it's getting better, but still showing contraction, still things slowing down. Now, obviously, lowering interest rates could have the impact that would cause this to spike even higher. But right now, not looking that great. I wanted to just bring that one up there because I thought housing data is important. And my last little piece before we go into whatever listener questions would be this one. SMCI's delisting. So on Friday, we talked about, actually last week, we were talking about how there's a pretty good probability of them getting delisted. They are submitting documents with a new auditor and getting those financials over by the deadline, which is supposed to be today. Of course, on the heels of that announcement, you saw SMCI pop significantly today. SMCI. Chart doesn't look like anything, right? Like, well, what happened? There's nothing there. Well, you look at the big jump today. It had a pretty significant move and then came screaming back down. It's already up at $26 again. It's up another 23% in the after-hours session. That's on, probably they made the new announcement here. So yeah, they did file their plan and they got their auditor, BDO, to be their auditor. So this is, great news. Bummed that I covered my puts for a loss. Those would have been a pretty significant gain, unfortunately, but is what it is. This one right now is already trading up here at $26. And my guess is, depending on how that's received, if they get the approval to remain on the exchanges, that will probably hold. And then those financials might help them out significantly. Because, they've been hemorrhaging for quite some time. And remember, they're a massive player in the space. I was talking to a friend of mine who is in the space of AI, and he says, look, if SMC, and this, we should all be thinking this as well. If Super Microcomputers is one of the largest companies out there that is taking NVIDIA's chips, building the server racks, and then configuring them, if they lose market share, if they go under, who's going to take over there? And you guys got any guesses? Who would take over that business, right? If I'm going to short SMCI because they might go under and be delisted, I've got to think that business needs to go somewhere else. And where would it go? Well, might surprise you. One of them is not listed on the U.S. markets. That's Lenovo. So we got your stocks. So there's your Lenovo group, which has been slaughtered. And then the other one, Dell. And Dell's been on a pretty nice little trek to the upside here. I don't think Intel was this. He gave me 3 names, and I can't remember the 3 names, but Dell has been looking really nice over the past couple of months as well. That might have been a big benefactor. But if SMCI does pull off this quasi miracle of getting a new auditor, getting the financial statements over to the SEC as requested, this could be very positive for them. And as you can see in the after-hours session here, looking absolutely fantastic. I'll show you a 5-minute chart so you can see this one. This is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome chart. Now, who knows what it's going to end up as. Remember, we had pretty big jumps the other day, and then it gave it all back. Today, at one point, we were up at almost $24, and it fell all the way down to 20 and change. So it's definitely got some wild swings, but we'll see what ultimately happens for tomorrow with SMCI, Super Microcomputer, and their current woes. Let's see. I think for NVIDIA's, yeah, and that was something interesting. Let's start at the bottom here and work our way back up to the top for our top 10, our top 8 markets, and then we'll go into expectations. You had a pretty significant sell-off today in that dollar index, down 0.44%, but I forget why this line was there. Oh, that was the beginning of a supply zone. So I could definitely see it coming back, hitting this dashed red line across the top, bouncing off of that. But for now, we got it. For now, still the uptrend is fantastic. Your 10-year. In the new session, it's down just slightly. And same thing for today's session. It was down just a little bit on the day. Still, the trend looks great to me. Nothing to be worried about until we get below, let's say, 4.25. And that really wouldn't be a worry. It would just be a, well, you know, we're breaking the strength of this big uptrend here. So all in all, that 10-year looks great to me. Still thinking long. Bitcoin. It was bouncing around quite a bit today. We had intraday highs on the futures of 93,215. Of course, that's well shy of the 94,000 high we had back on Wednesday. But still holding. You know, I was actually expecting there to be a bigger pullback here, and it's holding. Of course, when Michael Saylor goes out there and buys 50,000 Bitcoin, that's going to help support price. And, you know, keep in mind, everyone, Michael Saylor has said, I'm going to buy $42 billion worth of Bitcoin more. And now he's flooding that money into it. So I look at it, I have this trailing colossal buy order that's pushing Bitcoin up from one business. That doesn't include the people trying to buy IBIT, right? The BlackRock Bitcoin ETF, which of course is going to get traction as well as we reach all-time highs again. So lots of good buying pressure here. Let's go to Russell. Slight down right now after that 4-day just rip to the downside. You know, some people look at this and you can see I've got this little dashed red line here. You know, we could move it down to here, which would represent the high from kind of this breakout point. And quite often when you look at technical patterns, people are looking for that breakout to the upside. And once that happens, they're waiting for the retest. So we sold off from that 2,300 mark and then ripped through it here on November 6th. Big surge and now drifting back down. The question is this just a retest and it's going to hold this 2,300 mark for the Russell? If it does, then you'll have a bit more upside movement here. But if you play this as a buy point, make sure you have your stop loss in place in case it keeps dropping. Because we did rally pretty good today and then gave back almost all those gains. Still up 0.18% for the session. S&P was 4th place. Similar picture. You got a little bit of a bearish harami formation on the S&P. NASDAQ had another picture look just the same, right? We had that breakdown below 21,000, which we talked about, and really fell apart on Friday's session. And now kind of stabilized, and we'll see if this, you know, really it could go anywhere. I got no dog in this fight. You look at the trend, it feels like this is going to move to the upside here, but it could very easily come and continue lower. So we'll just kind of wait and see. Gold was up 1.73%, stopping its slide, and we talked about it. You're coming back to the origin of this kind of big move that started back on September 11th, actually 12th, right? It was sideways consolidation, then broke to the upside here. We fell right down to the T to that demand zone and bounced out of it aggressively today. Part of that, of course, was the dollar falling by 0.43%. And finally, also a benefit maybe from a weakening dollar is our crude oil. I still don't think we are out of the woods yet on crude oil. You know, you look at those lows, it got mapped out here right around $65. Wait, so was it 65? Yeah, 65 bucks. To me, that's your ultimate low there. If we break that, then you'll probably come crashing down even more. But the trend is looking weaker and weaker and weaker on crude oil. Nice bounce today, though. All right, I think that covers the things I wanted to discuss for today. Didn't realize I'd be going this late into the session. Thought it'd be a quick one today. What did you guys have for me? Fury says waiting for NVIDIA on Wednesday. Yes, so definitely everyone waiting on NVIDIA. And now some of you may have seen the news surface today about the Blackwell chip having some problems. And they have reached out to the purchasers of this Blackwell chip saying that there's a slight flaw with it and it's causing it to overheat. Now, I don't know whether that means they're doing a recall of these, but you know, overheating means they need more energy to cool them off. And that, of course, is outside the spec plan and not the end of the world, but certainly something that caused, I think, a little bit of fear today with NVIDIA. And you can see they were down just a little bit. NVDA. They were down just a little bit, came in right. Well, this trend line is not exactly drawn in perfect place, but somewhat respecting this one to the upside. All right. They need SMCI. Yeah, absolutely. They're number 3 customers, right? They're number 3 customer. You lose that, you're in trouble. And I was raising my concern about that one. But if SMCI sticks around and, I mean, look, if you're doing that much money, if you're making that much money, just stay above board. I mean, what books are they cooking? What are they doing that's so bad that caused Ernst & Young to walk away? They had to be doing something pretty egregious for that to happen. I don't know, at this level, you're one of the biggest in the world at that specific niche market. Just do things clean, do it above board, do it right. Might your finances take a little bit of a hit? Yeah, but you still look much, much better. Margaret says, weekly NVIDIA still looks strong. Yeah, the weekly, the daily, it all looks strong. Let's go, I'll do the weekly here. I mean, yeah, looks fantastic. It looks absolutely fantastic. I guess all eyes will be on that number. Again, that's Wednesday after market hours will be when they report earnings. Gonna be an exciting one there. There had be, yep, they did. Yep. They got BDO in there as their auditor, and it's saved by the bell because they had until the end of day today to submit the request and application to stay for the new auditor and to stay listed, which was literally sliding under the wire. And that's why I dumped it. It just didn't feel like they were going to get the auditor in time, and it just wasn't worth the risk to me. Because if they were delisted as of tomorrow, then I think SMCI is trading in single digits, like it's like a $5 stock. If you know, UBDO. Nice. Yeah, I don't either. Lisa, I'm willing to bet you that with BDO, it was a pretty significant amount of money. Like, okay, we need you to be our auditor, but look, here's a bonus for you to take. I would imagine there has to be something big there. Didn't lose another set of auditors prior to. So, and this is, I was talking to my friend who works at NVIDIA, and he was saying, look, SMCI had all kinds of issues in the past too. So I looked it up, and yeah, they were delisted in the past as well. They have like this history of kind of shady way that they're doing numbers. It's the way they're taking in collections and earnings and marking them down in one area of the books that shouldn't be there. It's accounting stuff that seems to be the big red flag, which is probably why Ernst & Young said, we're out of here. So yeah, I don't know who the previous company was, but yeah, they were delisted in the past. It took them 2 years to get listed. It's funny because I believe, I'm trying to remember the damn date. I want to say it was March. Real quickly, let me bring this one up because it might have been one of the biggest fall from graces, the fastest fall from grace. So what we had was you had SMCI and Deckers were the two that were listed that same day, and they replaced Whirlpool and Zion Bancorp, right? Those are the two that were removed for Deckers and SMCI. So let me see. When did SMCI be added to the S&P? I think it was March 14th. March 18th of 2024 of this year. So let's go to March 18th and look at SMCI. And I'm going to put a little vertical line there so we can see March 14th. And that's the weekly. I'll put this on the daily so we can see the exact breakdown. I mean, this is going to be pretty embarrassing for anybody who is into trading. There's the 11th. There's the 14th right there. Came on Thursday the 14th. When they were listed on the S&P 500, they were trading at a price of $117.50. That is split adjusted, by the way. And now, from their S&P edition price, they're down 83%. Ay. No bueno. So they did a 10-for-1 reverse split. So at one point, this thing actually was up over $1,000. Love it. Okay, what else did I have here? People know it chose BDO. English is their second language. That's the issue, is it? I don't know anything about SMCI. Right, so clearly they aren't learning what their independent advisors are telling. Yeah, and that's what makes me concerned about it, but I'm not really a long-term investor in this one. When I was trading it, or when I was selling those puts, I was looking for that swing back up, just overdone. It's not an hour yet. I got 5 minutes. Let me go into, see, I got to stop right there. I'm not doing an hour. Let's talk about our economic announcements for mañana. Here we go. Got to Tuesday. If you're trading the Canadian dollar, you've got a bunch of announcements. You can see CPI data. They've got their median, trimmed, common, core. They have a lot more breakdowns of their CPI number than we do. That will happen 1 hour before the equity markets open. If you look at the U.S., well, we have building permits and housing starts. So back to some economic data. That's going to happen, again, before market opens, 1 hour before. And then we have the G20 meeting all day. And not that that's going to necessarily, at any specific moment in time, cause spikes, but you could see wild swings depending on what is said at those meetings. So just keep that one in mind, and that was pretty much it. You have inflationary data for the British pound as well. Now I'll go to your earnings calendar and just show you what's on earnings. Again, nothing really that exciting until we get to Wednesday. You've got Walmart, Lowe's, Medtronic, Weibo, and that's Guess for retailers, and that's pretty much it. I love how some of these companies, they got nothing. They got no money going on. All right, that's going to do it for me, everybody. Sue, thank you for the question about gold. I hope that helped a little bit. I know you're probably looking for a specific site. I don't like really buying items like that sight unseen, right? Buying gold sight unseen, unless I'm buying like a gold ETF or something If I'm buying actual product, I'm going to go to somebody I know and trust and has been audited, not audited, but the gold coins or gold bars or ingots, whatever I'm buying, have been audited and kind of graded by an agency and sealed and certified. So that's how I would do it. Shop around your local place, easiest way to go. No, everyone. It's always nice to have a gold coin collection. And massive farmer protests in the UK tomorrow too for anyone trading the pound. Oh, they didn't know about massive farmer protests. You mess with the farmers, you're messing with food. I have been watching the British pound lately, which has been an interesting chart. You look at the big pullback here we've had in the British pound. It was like such a beautiful uptrend of higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, and all of a sudden just completely fell apart over the past month and a half or month and a quarter. And it feels like we're kind of stopped right at this little turning point that goes back to June of this year. But that something broke there, and maybe this is a part that's impacting it. So there we go. All right, that's going to do it for me, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm off to the dog park. Have a fantastic remainder of your day. If you got something you want me to talk about on tomorrow's show, I still have a couple YouTube comments that I need to get to, but put your comments down below any of the YouTube videos, or just go to tradermerlin@gmail.com and email me thoughts, comments. There was one guy who keeps posting. I want to give him props. Let me make sure I can get him props right now. Do I get it? His comment was that the video or the audio quality is so atrocious he cannot listen to the show, that it's just that appallingly bad. And I'm wondering, is it an hour? Now I got 2 minutes left, Big M. I got 2 minutes left. I'm wondering is the audio that bad? I've listened to the output. I thought the audio actually sounded okay. I thought the audio sounded fine to me. So if there are issues, let me know. I'll see if I can fix any audio issues. But the guy says he doesn't listen because the audio is too bad. Well, I definitely want to fix that. And you guys have not said anything about having really bad audio. It's 5x5, so it's good. Okay. I mean, it's not my mic. I got a great microphone here, and it could be in the transcoding, but I've listened to the output, and I thought it was good. All right. Well, I'll let you guys be my quality control. You can always tell me if something is right or wrong. I'm done, Big Eb. I'm done. I'm out of here. Big Eb, when are you coming up this way? We got to meet. We got to have a beer. I owe you a beer. Anyway, thanks, everybody. Have a fantastic remainder of your day. I will see you on tomorrow's show. Email me if you want to have a specific topic discussion for tomorrow. Take care.